Are the Buffalo Bills wasting Josh Allen's career? Welcome to Buffalo Against the World.
This is Buffalo Against the World Sports Talk with Kulu and
Cousin Brad.
Bills Mafia. It's our time.
Act like you know, baby.
Act like you know.
Welcome everyone to another edition of Buffalo Against the World. This is your host Kulu, and I'm here Dolo in the building today. Cousin Brad is at work, so I'm going to be doing the show today. It is Monday, and it is not a victory Monday. In fact, it's a blowout Monday for the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills fall short and get dominated. They don't fall short. They got crushed, killed, destroyed by one of the worst teams in the NFL. They got gashed by the Miami Dolphins. We talked about this yesterday on the show, but so much more that I wanted to come and talk to you guys. Drop comments below. How are you feeling after that loss? It was pathetic. It was effortless. It really took me to a whole another place where we are with this GM, where we are with this coaching staff. But just some news that just came out. Brian Daboll was just fired. Former Buffalo Bills OC was just fired by the New York Giants. Not a surprise. He has not had a good season, has not had a good tenure there. The Giants haven't had a winning season, and they brought him there to kind of revive some life. They saw the offense that he put together for Josh Allen. Didn't really work out for Daniel Jones, and it turns out Daniel Jones wasn't even the problem because Daniel Jones goes to the Colts and he's winning football games. So, do you bring Daboll back? I know a lot of people want Sean McDermott's head right now, but let's not do that. Let's not do that, Bills fans. Please, we are not going to go there tonight. Their breakup between Sean McDermott and Brian Daboll was not good. So if you think that Sean McDermott is going to fire Joe Brady and bring in Brian Daboll, bring him back, you got another thing coming. It's not happening. It's not happening. They don't get along. They didn't get along when they coached together. There were some things that Daboll had some issues with that we're not going to fully get into. But I don't see that happening. I wouldn't like him as an option for head coach for those who are thinking about firing McDermott. That's not going to happen either. So please, let's not even take it there. All right, so I would like for you guys to drop comments below how you felt about that game yesterday. I'm definitely going to talk about how I feel. I feel horrible. I feel disappointed. I feel let down. And one of the reasons why I feel let down is I feel like the Bills have failed Josh Allen. I feel like we failed Josh Allen, and we are not putting the pieces around him. Now, this is one of the statements that I took from the press conference after the Buffalo Bills stayed pat, didn't make any move to get a wide receiver. The report is that Brandon Beane did make an effort to try to get Jaden Waddle, who scored a touchdown against us yesterday. Unfortunately, the Dolphins wanted a 2026 first round pick, and Brandon Beane was only willing to part ways with a 2027 in the third. So, what's your thoughts about that? I mean, I feel a bunch of different ways. My number one guy was Brian Thomas Jr. Unfortunately, I think Buffalo waited too long to try to jump on Brian Thomas Jr. I think they waited to the end of the trade deadline to try to make a run at him, and by that time he wasn't available. Why wasn't he available? Why was he once available, and why was he not available at that time? Well, he was not available at this time because Travis Hunter is injured for the season. They did just sign Jacoby Myers, but again, you need a number two. So now Brian Thomas Jr. is in that spot. He had an ankle injury as well. Buffalo sat on their hands for 2 weeks. When we knew he was out there, they wanted a first round pick for him. Buffalo sat on their hands, didn't make the move, and now they decided to keep him. Why did I like Brian Thomas Jr. so much? A lot of Bills fans don't remember, it seems like, because this guy had 1,000 yards. He had 1,200 yards in his rookie season. He had 10 touchdowns. In fact, he had the best rookie season out of all the rookie wide receivers last year. That's why I wanted him. Whatever was going on, whatever is going on between that team, he's not getting along with the coaching staff. He's not getting along with the quarterback. I don't really care. I know the talent that kid is. He's amazing. He runs a 4.3 speed. He's 6'2". He has the size. He's everything you want in a wide receiver. And he has NFL production. My question is, why wait to trade that first round pick? Let's be honest. Where the Bills are going to pick next year is not going to be low. It's not going to be anywhere in the teens. It's going to be in the 20s. Because old Brad mentioned on the show yesterday that there's a guy in Ohio State that he really, really likes, that he feels like can make a difference for the Buffalo Bills. And I said, Cuzzo, is he going to make it to where we pick? He said, absolutely not. So I say, who's going to be better than Brian Thomas Jr. in next year's draft that the Bills are going to have a shot to get? And the answer was crickets. Nobody. So that happened. You weren't able to get Brian Thomas Jr. So now let's talk about the next best thing. Jalen Waddle, proven wide receiver. He was the number one receiver before Tyreek Hill got there. He's still a starter on pretty much any team. He's a number one on just about any other team, including the Buffalo Bills. So they wanted a 2026 pick. Brandon Beane offered them a 2027. They said, no deal. Brandon Beane, you were watching the Chiefs game in Arrowhead. And I'm sorry, it was in Buffalo, excuse me. You were watching the game, Brandon. We saw you in the box watching. You were taking notes. And I'm sure you could see that these receivers were not getting open. And it should have been something you should have saw all year, because Bills fans have been saying this. I've been saying it. Many other podcasts, Joe Marino's been saying it. And sometimes we're taking the backlash because we're telling the truth. And our fans, we want to stick behind you, Brandon Beane. But you keep lying to Bills fans. And you keep telling Bills fans that this roster is good enough to win a Super Bowl. Who you think you're fooling, man? We have two eyes. We can see. We can read statistics. We can tell that the help that you've given Josh Allen is not good enough at the skill position. What's going on, Brother Banker? Scott, what's good? Yes, I'm here, man. Make sure you follow the channel, bro. Yeah, we're over here on Buffalo Against the World. We have our own channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Anyone watching, and tell everybody else from the Built in the Buffalo family to come on over. This is where we are. We're on our own platform now. Now, listen, I'm very disappointed, and I took a lot of flack the past few weeks from Bills fans because I'm a realistic Bills fan. I love my team, but I want to win a Super Bowl, guys. I want to win. And I don't fall in love with players that are not named Josh Allen, that are not named Deion Dawkins, that are not named Dalton Kincaid. I don't fall in love with guys that are James Cook. If you're not the cornerstone of this team, I'm not falling in love with you. Okay? That just makes no sense to me. I'm not dedicated to you. I'm not stuck with you, so to speak. Those guys, our core guys, are the guys I'm stuck with. And I've said the offensive weapons, and I've been saying it since week 2, and even before the season. Here are the offensive weapons that you have right now. Josh Allen, your number 1, your assassin. James Cook, your number 2. Khalil Shakir and Dalton Kincaid can be thrown in there intermediately, however you like it. And I'm telling you guys, this is your core on your offense. That's it. Keon Coleman, he can play the slot if he, if he's up to it that day, and he's going to win you some jump balls in the red zone. That's what you're going to get from Keon Coleman. He's not going to get separation. Don't expect him to be something he's not. And the problem is, Bills fans really wanted him to be the next Stephon Diggs, but that was just way above who this kid is. He was always a jump ball guy. He was a 50-50 catch guy. He runs 3 or 4 routes, his route tree. The deep post, the deep slant, and the deep ball. No run up and stops, no curl routes, no screens. That's it. That's what you got. Brandon Beane, you keep telling us this is a championship roster. No. But in good news, though, the Buffalo Bills did make a move. They did sound Harden. He was a Super Bowl hero. He got some speed. Carol Harden. I like the pickup. At this point, it's the best we can do right now. Go get a guy in free agency. He's won a Super Bowl. He's a field stretcher. I mean, I don't know what he's done since he left the Chiefs, but he was a Super Bowl hero. I like that. I'll take it. It's not Brian Thomas Jr. It's not Jaden Waddle. It's not Olave. But I'll take it. I'll take it for now. It's going to take a while for him to learn the playbook, but so that kind of takes me right to where we was talking about Jaden Waddle, right? Me and Cuzzo Brad were talking about that. Jalen, I believe he was definitely worth a 2026 first-round pick. Why Brandon Beane didn't pull the trigger? I got to say arrogance. I got to call arrogance on his part. He believes that this roster, these wide receivers that he put in front of Josh Allen are good enough. Here's why I call arrogance. Because you drafted him, or you traded for him, or you picked him up in free agency. That's why I call arrogance. Because you don't want to be wrong about drafting Keon Coleman first overall last year for the Buffalo Bills. You don't want to be wrong about that. I call arrogance because you don't want to be wrong about Curtis Samuel, signing him. You don't want to be wrong about Joshua Palmer. You don't want to be wrong about letting go of guys like Stephon Diggs, of letting go Mr. Feet Man, my man. He had 100 yards yesterday. You let him walk right out the door. He led your team in touchdowns last year, and you let him walk right out of the door. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Khalil Shakir, Scott, Khalil is our best player. He's our best receiver. He's our best receiver, not the best player, but he's our best receiver. And he was pretty good when Diggs was still here. You cannot, Andy Reid said this, and he tells his players this, and I get this from Shady McCoy, who won a Super Bowl with Andy Reid. He says, coaches can coach, we can game plan. This is a players' league. This is a players' league. Ultimately, our best players got to be better than their best players. The guys that we're paying got to be better than the guys they're paying. Ask yourself, who are you paying? Excuse me. Who are you paying? Josh Allen you're paying? Deion Dawkins you're paying? James Cook you're paying? Khalil Shakir you're paying right now on your offense? Okay? Dalton Kincaid, you're not paying him yet. You're paying Dawson Knox. He's doing absolutely nothing. He's not the tight end that we once thought he was before injury. I mean, our best players got to be better than their best players. That's the only way. And we're not seeing that. We are not seeing that. We're seeing one player, Josh Allen, showing up every single week, even though he had a horrible game. He had a horrible game, had one of his worst games. Horrible turnover in the red zone. But he's putting on the cape. He's putting on the cape again because he can't get no help. He got 3.4 seconds. Averaged 3.43 seconds yesterday. No one came open. The guy still threw for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, he had 2 turnovers, but I mean, you can live with that if other players step up. No one is stepping up to help Josh Allen. This is my problem. This is becoming my problem every single year. Josh Allen has no help. So we want to make these excuses for Brandon Beane. We want to make these excuses for Sean McDermott. But what about the guy that we decided to pay hundreds of millions of dollars over the next however many years? We don't decide that we're going to invest in him. That just doesn't make sense. Scott, let's see. Shakir is our best receiver, but that's all Brady does is use him in short screens. Maybe Brady doesn't know how to. There it is. You're keeping it real, bro. I don't disagree with you. You know, Coleman, he can be used. He's not a superstar. He's not a number 2 receiver. Let's just stop. Okay? If you utilize him in the slot, he'll do well. You can utilize him as a smaller tight end, so to speak, in the slot. Give him some out routes, in routes. You know, get him some jump balls in the red zone. That's where you're going to use him. I mean, Elijah Moore, you got a field stretcher. You don't use him that way. You don't let him stretch the field. I don't know. Curtis Samuel, he has speed. You don't let him stretch the field. Joshua Palmer, he has speed. When he's healthy, he never seems to stretch the field. I think he had one deep pass that he caught. He made an outstanding catch. He got injured right after that. So, okay, what are we doing? Khalil Shakir is your slot guy. He's your everything guy. But here's what defenses are going to do. They're going to tell you every single week, this is what you're going to see going forward. Okay? That's what they say about historians. We don't predict the future. But we can tell you by our knowledge of the past what other people are going to do because it's working. Right? They're going to line up and they're going to set to stop the run. They're going to set up to stop James Cook. Because if James Cook gets stopped and they're going to play man press coverage, they don't expect no one can get past them. And they believe that they can get to Josh Allen within 3 and 4 seconds. If you have a good defense, you can do that, and they'll beat the Buffalo Bills. And the only way that the Buffalo Bills overcome it is if Josh Allen overcomes it. Josh Allen has turned into the modern day LeBron James in his first 7 years at Cleveland. Do you remember those years when LeBron was in Cleveland? Couldn't get nobody to come play with him. I think he got an old Shaq and old Ben Wallace. You expect this guy to win with that? It's not going to work. So the man said, look, guys, it's been real, but I'm taking my talents to South Beach. Now, as much as I hate that press conference, I understand it. And every one of you Bills fans who has worked a job, you love the job that you're doing, but you look at your family and you see your family needs more. You had to do something different. You had to make a decision in your life. We don't ever want Josh Allen to feel like that. But if you look at that image that I'm looking at, I'm going to pull it up here. If you look at the image of Josh Allen, cover of this particular show right now, if you look at Josh Allen's face, pulling it up, guys. If you look at him right there, don't you feel sorry for this kid? He's about to be 30 years old. Don't you feel sorry that he's so dedicated to these fans, to the city, to this coaching staff, to this GM, that's saying he's good enough to do it by himself? And frankly, we don't care because we're going to sell tickets anyway. How do you feel as a Bills fan that that's essentially what they're saying to you? That Brandon Beane is telling you that this roster is good enough to win a Super Bowl. Come on now. You saw the Philadelphia Eagles last year who won a Super Bowl. You saw the Kansas City Chiefs the year before that. You saw their receiving core, including Travis Kelce, one of the greatest receivers / tight end / receivers in the history of the NFL. You saw A.J. Brown last year. No one is winning the Super Bowl without those type of threats. Running the ball and passing the ball. Because your offense can quickly become one-dimensional. I was listening to Joe Marino's podcast. Shout out to Joe Marino and Locked On Bills. I really respect what he's doing because he's keeping it real, man. And he, like myself, we caught a lot of flack for people saying, "Oh, you're being too critical. You're being negative." It's not negative when you're being a realistic Bills fan when you know what you're looking at. You know what you're looking at, and we keep believing, and we keep hoping, and it's the same vicious cycle. They get your hopes up, go on a 3-4 game winning streak, beat the Chiefs in the regular season. We're all hyped, and then you go lose it, lay an egg, and you play down to competition to one of the worst teams in the NFL. Come on. Eventually, it's time for us to be critical. I've even been critical of Josh Allen. I was critical of Josh Allen last night. Those 2 costly turnovers in the second half. The fumble, where he's trying to force himself to get extra yards. I equate that on to putting on the cape again. I fought at Josh Allen when he threw that crazy interception in the red zone, which pretty much sealed the game right there. It was over from there. But there's a lot of other things that led up to that. Him having to hold the ball too long because guys can't get open. I equate both of those turnovers to Josh Allen trying to put on the cape. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Both of those turnovers was Josh Allen. Yes, the defense is decimated with injuries. If everyone's healthy, it might be a different story. Yeah, defensively, we, especially with Michael Hoyt, man, he really lit a fire under every defensive lineman. Like, he won me over, man. I was willing to say put him in over Russo. That's how hard this guy was playing every single play. I mean, wish my man the well. Hope he can come back to form. That one crushed me, man. Like, I was kind of like, people were saying Ogunjobi and Michael Hoyt are coming back. And I'm like, these dudes going to save our defense? Man, that boy was on the verge of something. He was on the verge to possibly end up with 10 sacks by the end of the season. That's how savage he was going. That one really hurt, man. That one right there, yeah. Okay, but he's going to get you some sacks, but still not stopping the run. So that's a problem there, okay? Deion Walker, been outstanding. Been outstanding for this team. We could not stop the run again. Shaq Thompson was hurt. That hurt the defense. Shaq Thompson is a downhill tackler. You need guys like that in the trenches. He wasn't there. So you kind of just got to, the injuries, man, the injuries are mounting up. And, last year they were talking about adding guys that can help with the injuries for the Buffalo Bills. And it hasn't worked. Whoever they hired, they fired him last year. They hired a new guy this year. And it's actually worse. Like, the guys were losing for the season. It's just crazy. It's crazy. But we're going to have to keep seeing. We're going to have to keep seeing. Right now, I think Brandon Beane, what he owes the Bills fans is he owes us an apology. You had Olave there. You had Rasheed Salim. Is that his name, right? Rashid Shaheed. You had him. He went for a third and a fifth. You had Jacoby Myers. I think he went for a third and a fourth. These guys actually got traded. And you weren't in on either one of those trades. So, and I equate that to you Brandon Beane waiting to the last minute to try to get those guys. I think Brian Thomas Jr. would have been the best option for the Buffalo Bills. Why? He's young. He's 22 years old. He had 10 touchdowns last year. He led all rookies, receivers in touchdowns. He had 1,200 yards. I would have easily given up a first-round pick for him. People say, cool, a first rounder? We're going to pick towards the end of the first round, right? Do you expect to get a top 10 wide receiver in the draft? You're not. Brian Thomas Jr. is a player that's ascending. And Jacksonville didn't want him. But what happened while Brandon Beane was waiting? Travis Hunter got hurt for the season. So guess what? Well, we were going to trade Brian Thomas Jr., but we can't now because our other receiver that we believe in is now injured for the season. So now we're back to square one. So by the time Brandon Beane called, or if he even did call, guess what happened? They hung up the phone. We're not trading him. You call Jaden Waddle. Call for Jaden Waddle, who scored a touchdown against you yesterday. You call him. They say, we want a 2026 first round pick. What are you giving us? Brandon Beane says, well, I'll give you a first rounder 2027 and a third rounder 2026. They said, we'll call you back. Picture this in your mind. They call back, no deal. Click. Now, I don't know what time this happened. You could have made a counter offer and just said, hey, looked at your roster. I saw Brandon Beane out there in the box watching this team against the Chiefs, and same issue. If Buffalo would have had a field stretcher, we would have blew the Chiefs out. If we would have had a field stretcher, we would have blew the Chiefs out. But unfortunately, you don't have that. You don't have a burner. So what happens? You let Jaden Waddle stay with the Miami Dolphins. They get a little confidence. You go into their house. He scores a touchdown. And Achane just did the rest. Come on now. Come on. Now, reverse that. The Bills make the trade. They trade the 2026 first round pick, right? Is Jalen Waddle better than any receiver that you're going to get in the late first round in 2026? Drop comments below. I'm saying yes. He's 26 years old. He can still grow with Josh, can still be molded. He's been getting beat by the Bills for years. He knows how good we are. He knows we're right there. He immediately is a vertical threat for you. He immediately makes defensive coordinators have to wonder where he is on the field, which opens it up for the run game, which opens it up for all the other intermediate receivers, the Keon Cooks, the Khalil Shakirs, the Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakirs, Curtis Samuels, Elijah Moores, and as well it helps out Joshua Palmer when he gets healthy. Yes, one player on your offense could have made a big difference. And not only that, what do you do to Miami? You demoralize their team because now their best player on offense is gone. Well, with the exception of Achane. Achane is actually their best player, but their best wide receiver, their best vertical threat is gone because Tyreek Hill's already gone. So let's see. Now, to be fair, Jalen Waddle would not have played against Miami because he would not have been caught up to the playbook. Let's be realistic about that. But you did that part where I talked about you demoralized them. They would have no vertical threat, and you would virtually make them a one-dimensional football team. And all you got to do is do what every team is doing to you when you go play Miami. You stack the box, you play man coverage because they have no vertical threat now. And you go in with a plan to stop Achane. You see the difference? One player could have made a big difference in this game. Let's talk about the game. Of course, we talked about the fumble by Josh Allen. Second half, horrible, costly. The interception in the red zone, horrible, costly. James Cook fumble early on, costly. There was some positives. Cole Bishop, first series, big time interception, second interception of the season. Cole Bishop, the game is really slowing down to this kid. It's really slowing down. He's really showing that physicality now. And he's starting to show his ball skills. I'm liking what I'm seeing from you, kid. Keep it up. Maxwell Harrison, second game as a pro, second interception. He did get torched by Waddle. Okay, that did happen. But give the man some props because the man is really an improvement from what we had the first 6 weeks of this season. So I like what I'm seeing from this kid. And he had very little training camp, no preseason, no season. And look at just the raw talent of this kid. I mean, this kid's he's going to be dynamic. Like Brandon Beane, I got to give you credit. I've been coming at you all the time. I'm going to give you some credit here. That was a good pickup. That kid right there is a good pickup. Achane could not be stopped. He was the man of the game. 173 yards on 22 carries, 2 touchdowns. I mean, those 2 late touchdowns that he ran was the game. You know, tackling has been a problem all season long for the Buffalo, but it's been a problem over the past 3 seasons. I mean, I can go back to actually 13 seconds. Tackling has been a problem. Jordan Poyer, you're an upgrade from Taylor Rapp, but not by much. But not by much, bro. Not by much at all. I don't know what's going on with you, dude. You're washed. You're washed. It's time to start looking for the next guy. Who's going to be that next guy to replace him? Because we really need help. You know, the thing about Poyer is he knows the system, but the body ain't following the mind. He knows where he's supposed to be. I see him diving at plays like he's just like a couple steps behind. Like the mind, the body is not following the mind anymore. You know, it's he's a great guy to have as a player's coach, but it's just not there. Just not there. Always a couple steps too late. That's just what it is. We've seen it all season. When we play a team that's going to run the ball well, we can't stop it. Can't stop it. Didn't help that we went 3 and out so many times. I wrote down a bunch of things. So, Cooley reviewing his notes here. The 3 costly turnovers, receivers can't get open, poor tackling, abandon the run too soon. Come on now. We see how dynamic James Cook is. After the fumble, we saw an abandonment of the run in the first half. You don't do that. If you're upset with James Cook, go let those other 2 running backs behind him run, because they're very, very good. Ty Johnson is very good. Ray Davis is very good. Keep running the football, though. Keep running the football. Don't become one-dimensional. That's your only shot you have. You're only down 16 points. Keep running the football. You got to stay balanced, because once you become a one-dimensional offense, they're going to keep blitzing Josh Allen. And you're going to get your quarterback hit, hurt, and that's just going to be what it is. Okay? So that's the moral of the story. The moral of the story is, Brandon Beane, you were absolutely wrong when you said that this 53 is good enough to win a Super Bowl. Now, because Brad said this and Scott said it also, if we're healthy, maybe this 53 could get you to a championship. But I'm still having a hard time if you don't have a field stretcher. I'm still having a hard time if you don't have a name that a defensive coordinator respects. And that's all she wrote. And some people may argue Joshua Palmer was that guy. I don't know. I don't know. Mac Hollins. Beane let him walk right out the door. Beane let him walk right out the door. Led our team in touchdowns last year. High energy guy. Really had the swagger that he brought to Buffalo. Loved it. Let him walk right out the door. Signed Josh Palmer to what? 26 million, 30 million? What are you doing, dude? Is that how you reward the players who show you loyalty, who show you dedication? And what did he do? He went to the Patriots, who are on top of the division right now. Here we go again. The old days are back. We're chasing the New England Patriots again. And I'm going to tell you guys something. The New England Patriots, their coaching staff is a lot better than ours right now. I'm not going to say overall. I'm not going to jump the gun. But right now, Mike Vrabel's coaching staff is very sound. They're very sound. They're in tune with their skill position players. And Stephon Diggs is really taking on a leadership role with that team. Look, at the end of the day, what do the Bills have to do to move forward? You know, I mean, at this point, do what you got to do to get this guy on the field. Do what you got to do to get Gabe Davis on the field. I mean, you missed out on the trade deadline. Do what you got to do to get these guys on the field. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice right now. Because what we've seen within the first 9 weeks of the season, you don't have nobody to stretch the field. And it's time to make Keon Coleman eat some humble pie and say, listen, young man, we like you. We drafted you first overall for us. And you have not given us anything. With all due respect, time for you to sit down. It's time for you to sit down, and it's time for you to watch. It's time for you to take a hard lesson, because I'm a believer of facts over feelings. Facts say this guy is not a number one receiver. The facts say he's not a number two receiver. The facts say he doesn't get open often. The facts say he doesn't have the speed. The facts say he only runs 3 routes. And you think defenses don't know that by now? Who is Brandon Beane and Coach McDermott think they're fooling? These are professionals that study their opponents. They know if we go man coverage and blitz Josh Allen, we're going to have success. If we go all out to stop James Cook, we're going to have success against the Buffalo Bills. What are your chances as a Buffalo Bill to overcome that? Is it Josh Allen? That is our whatever our defense is throwing at them. And we've been winning like this. I watched Shady McCoy today, and he said, if you move Josh Allen to the Cowboys are all of a sudden winning. They're going to win. Just be off of the sheer leadership of this kid because they have talent there. Okay? What receiver do you have that can start on any other team? Drop comments below. What receiver do the Buffalo Bills have right now that will start on any other roster? The receivers you got won't even start in Cleveland. The receivers that the Bills have will not even start in Cleveland. Real talk. Hey, haters or love it, this is real talk here. That's how bad our receiving core is. Statistic came out today, 4.338 seconds Josh Allen had in the pocket. 3.43 seconds he had. On average, no one was coming open. Offensive line could do a little better, but at the same time, nobody was getting open. Now, Joe Brady, you got to take a hit for this too. When you're noticing that this time is getting short for your quarterback, what are you doing? Are you adjusting the routes? Now, some people say that the Bills are holding on to stuff for the playoffs. You got to make it to the playoffs first, son. You got to make it to the playoffs first before you're losing games. This is your second AFC East division loss. It's not looking good. We're now 6th place in the AFC. It's not looking good, man. And teams are catching up. The Colts, the Broncos, the Patriots. Don't think the Chiefs are going to stay down for too long. How much you don't think the Ravens are going to stay down for too long? And if Joe Brady gets healthy, do not think that the Bengals won't come alive. We should be ascending by now. But now we're kind of descending because we've kind of lost our identity, and we need to get it back. We need to get it back quickly. I don't know what McDermott's going to do, but I fail to tell you. I fear to tell you guys and all my Bills fans, the outcome of this season may determine the fate of Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott. I see it. And I think Bills fans are going to finally see what we've been saying. Now, there was some rumblings when Stephon Diggs was still here in Buffalo. There was rumblings that Diggs believed after 13 seconds that Sean McDermott had lost the locker room. And there was a lot of tension between Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. And a lot of people was just feeling that Diggs was already at the point where he believed that this team could not get it done under McDermott's tenure. Are we witnessing that prophecy come into play? Are we witnessing this coming to light? Because what I'm seeing is, it seems to be like that. All right, Scott says it seems to be the Bills value blocking receivers instead of. There you go. They're basically saying block and Josh Allen going to make something happen. Okay, so earlier I talked about LeBron James in his first 7 years in Cleveland. I had a friend of mine, and he covered LeBron in Cleveland. And here's what he had to say. He said a lot of owners at that time were content with having great players and selling out stadiums. Owners kind of have it in their mind that the Lakers, the Knicks, and certain teams are just going to get the best players because they're just a more attractive place. Miami Heat, they're going to just attract better players. So there was kind of nothing that Cleveland felt that they can do to help LeBron. But the owner just feels like, hey, we're selling tickets, we're in business, we're making money, I'm cool with this. So a guy like LeBron says, I can't let that thinking determine whether I get a championship or not. Please, Brandon Beane, if you continue to stay with the Buffalo Bills, do not be mistaken. This player is the greatest Buffalo Bill in the history, Josh Allen. Please, don't mess this up. Don't mess this up. Don't get him disgruntled. We saw that picture. We saw it. I'm going to put it up again. That's a dejected human being. One of the greatest players of this generation. And you're wasting him by not giving him talent. A supporting cast that can compete for a Super Bowl. This kid is at the point of his career, about to turn 30 years old. He's at the point of his career where it's going to be Super Bowl or bust every single year. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? All right, the Buffalo Bills, they got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming in here. Again, don't expect Harden to get in right away. Don't expect him to get in right away. He's not going to learn the playbook that fast. Fortunately, we did get him in here. Practice starts tomorrow. They did some film today. But I don't see him being active on the 53-man roster against the Buccaneers. I'm not too sure yet if there are any rumblings of Gabe Davis being ready to play yet. And the Buccaneers, they have some weapons, man. They have some weapons. And we better be ready to play. We better be ready to stop the run. That is your number one thing that the Buffalo Bills need to lock in on. Stopping the run, making teams one-dimensional. I don't know how they're going to do that with all these defensive injuries. I really don't know. I mean, guys are dropping like flies on the defense. I mean, I don't know. Beane says he believes in the 53. I mean, he's going to have to pull a rabbit out of his hat for this one because, Baker Mayfield, every time he plays Josh Allen, he plays with a grudge. Josh Allen's the guy who went before him. So he's always going to play with a grudge. He's always going to play with a grudge. And Josh Allen has been the better quarterback for a longer period of time. He is the better talent. But Baker Mayfield has found a team that has embraced him, that loves him, a city that has embraced him, just got a contract. And guess what? He's ascending too. He's coming into his own. So these guys got a chip on their shoulders. We do have the advantage because we're playing in this Buffalo. If you live in Buffalo, we're already seeing some snow. So let's get ourselves ready to grind. Offensively, the offensive line has to be better. They were horrible last week. We have to win in the trenches. That's the offensive line. That's the defensive line. If those two play very well, you can beat anybody. You got to stop the run, and you got to be able to run the football. And I'm telling you right now, the Buccaneers and every other team that's beat us this season, their recipe is pressure Josh Allen, go man coverage, stop James Cook. And every time that was done, we lost the football game. You look at the tape. It's glaring. Go look at the tape, and it will tell you, pressure Josh Allen, play man coverage, stop James Cook. This are the three things defensive coordinators are doing to beat the Buffalo Bills. And it's working. And this is a copycat league, so expect that. Joe Brady, here's what I'm expecting from you. I'm expecting, just like Scott said, stop trying to Khalil Shakir on the screen every time. Get a little bit more clever with your offense, man. I want to see some run up and stop plays. I want to see some quick slants. You know, everything don't have to be going deep every single play. These guys are running 10 yards up the field every single time. It's not working. Your receivers don't have the speed for that. So you got to scheme some guys open, okay? And don't neglect to get James Cook the ball in space either. Utilize him. This is the running back who demanded his contract. He got it. Get him the ball. You got to get him the ball in space. You can throw him the ball as much as you're willing to run him the ball. So be it. Get him the ball in space. Let him do what he do. All right? And keep these three things in mind. Dalton Kincaid is week to week. Don't expect to see him in the lineup. He's probably doubtful. Allen, Cook, Shakir, and I'm going to replace Kincaid with Knox. Knox, you got a contract, bro. You have a contract. That means when Kincaid is out, you need to step up. You're the next guy that Josh Allen trusts. And in fact, Dawson Knox, you're only still on this team because Josh Allen's relationship with you. You better step it up, bro, in a big, major way. You better step it up. So again, don't abandon the run too quickly. Get James Cook going. Get Ty Johnson going. Get Ray Davis going. Get those guys going too. Give James Cook a little break if he's struggling, if he's fumbling like he did last week. Put those other guys in. But don't abandon the run. Okay? Joe Brady, please get the intermediate routes going. All right? Stop trying to send everybody deep every time. And defense, y'all got to stop the run. All right? If you can do that for a half, I'm sure we can score some points and win this game. It's in Buffalo. And elements may be in effect in this game. So that is my take for what the Bills have to do to get a dub. What do you guys think? Drop comments below. Do you think that the Buffalo Bills are wasting Josh Allen's career? Or is this the year? I don't know. But we'll find out next week. Thank you guys for joining me on Buffalo Against the World. You'll see me on Sunday with the results of the game, and then you'll see me again on Monday. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. This is Kulu, and I'm signing off. One love, everybody.
This is Buffalo Against the World Sports Talk with Kulu and
Cousin Brad.
Bills Mafia. It's our time.
Act like you know, baby.
Act like you know.
Against the world. Let's get it.
Alright, big BSS, man. Buffalo against the world, man. Hit on anybody. Buffalo against the world, man. Buffalo against the world. Y'all know what's going on, man. We out here. We outside. We outside.
Buffalo against the world.
It's the mafia, the fan base that adopt you. On Sundays, we are not cool. Any other days, we're robbing. We haven't sent, we're handling. We spoke to God and said thanks, though.